Yeah, we all excited to see the sharks being fed. Yeah, so you might notice they are swimming around a little bit quicker now because they are getting very excited. And that's because any minute now we will be feeding them. So what you need to look out for is right over the far side of the tank, there will be a pole that goes into the water and that will have a bit of fish on the end of it. So this is what we call target feeding. And basically it means that we can keep an eye on which sharks are having what to eat, so we know that we can even it out the next day if needs be. But that target that they swim towards, that is the pole, and the fish is their reward for reaching their target. So it's just a way that we can keep an eye on things and make sure that they are nice and fair. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about sharks in general first, and then I'll go on to tell you about our sharks that we have here in this tank. But while I'm doing that, just keep your eyes to the far right. As I said, that'll be where we'll be feeding them from. So sharks in general have been around for millions and millions of years, almost about 400 million years, which is a very long time. And there's almost 400 different species around the planet at the moment. So that's a lot of different types of shark. Now obviously they are classed as part of the fish family, so you'll notice there are a lot of similarities and also a lot of differences. One of the main similarities between fish and sharks is that all of them have scales. They're just a little bit different. So fish have scales that act a little bit like an interlocking suit of armour, just lots of little tiny ones that all gather together, and this helps protect them from anything and everything. Sharks also have scales as well, but theirs are slightly different. Instead, theirs are called dermal denticles. And that's just a fancy way of saying that they have got tooth-shaped scales, and they run all along the shark's body. Now they're also backwards facing, and this actually means that it changes the feel of a shark if you were to give one a little bit of a tickle. So if you were to stroke a shark from its head all the way down to its tail, it would feel quite smooth and a little bit leathery. If you were to go the opposite way from its tail right the way back up to its head, it would feel quite rough and a little bit like sandpaper. And that's because of the way these dermal denticles are. Now, as well as just making the shark feel a little bit different, they do actually have a proper job, and that is to allow the sharks to cut through the water a lot more effectively so they can swim a lot faster as well. Now, another interesting thing about sharks that you might not already know is that they don't actually have a skeleton that's made out of bone in the same way that we do. Instead, theirs is made out of something called cartilage. So if everyone wants to feel the very tips of your ears right now, and if you also want to feel your nose, you can also find cartilage there. So it's quite a tough but flexible tissue, and it actually allows our sharks to swim a lot faster and in that very specific way that they do. Now, another thing about sharks is that they have got an extra sense. So as well as our usual ones like smell, touch and taste, they have something called electroreception. Now this is just a fancy way of saying that they're able to pick up on any little electronic impulses that go out into the water. These can be caused by just the tiniest little fish moving the tiniest muscle in its body. This will send out an impulse and the sharks can pick up on that, and this is actually how they are such good hunters. So they can get to their prey so much quicker because of this electroreception. Now I'm going to go on and tell you a little bit about the sharks that we have in general in here. Now one of the ones just swimming across the front there, that is one of our black-tip reef sharks. These ones get their names because if you look at their fins and their tail, you'll notice they've got little black patches on all of them. Now you'll see quite a few of them swimming past as they go around the tank. We do actually have 10 of them in here. We've got 8 females and 2 males, so you will see them quite regularly. We've also got some white tip reef sharks in here as well, which you might be able to guess already. Similar to the black tips, but they have white tips to all of their fins and their tails. Now we only have 2 of them in this tank. They're actually called William Wonka, and usually if you see one of them just going across the top there, the other one isn't too far behind. In fact, when it's not feeding time, the main way that you can see William Wonka is that they'll both be snuggled up, usually towards this end of the tunnel, just having a little rest at the bottom. So that's always very, very nice to see. We've also got Boris, who you might have seen swimming past. He is the very unusual looking and very grumpy looking shark, who looks a little bit spotty and a bit of a mix between a ray and a shark as well. So he is a bowmouth guitar shark. Feel free to wave and shout hi Boris if you do see him swimming past. He does always like a little bit of attention. But he is basically what we sometimes call the missing link. So we say that he hasn't fully evolved, so he's got the body of a ray, but the fins and the tail of a shark. So he is very, very impressive to see. Now that one just swimming across the middle there, that other very big looking shark, that is one of our biggest ones here, and that is called a nurse shark. We've got 2 of them in this tank, and they get to about 3 meters long, so they are pretty impressive sharks. They're also quite different to all the others because obviously they do look more brownish in colour, and they've also got what looks like two little whiskers on their top lip. These are called barbels, and they actually help the sharks to smell, which is a little bit unusual. Now we've also got our shovel-nosed guitar sharks in here as well. I haven't seen any swimming past yet, but you might be able to get a good view of them at some point. They will swim past very soon. These ones look very unusual because, as the name suggests, they sort of look like they've got a shovel for a face. So they've got a very triangular shaped face that looks very unusual. A bit like you could pick it up and take it back to the beach, and you could do some good digging with one of those. But those are our shovel-nosed guitar sharks. Now all of the sharks that you can see in this tank, they can all be found in more tropical water at either side of the equator. So anywhere around there, but unfortunately for our sharks, a lot of the water there is fished regularly for sharks and some of the other endangered species. There's a lot of threats facing our sharks, and a lot of the threats come from us as humans. So we fish sharks for lots of different reasons.